They told me to take the bus to my own graduation while buying my younger sister a Bentley. I was graduating from Stanford Business School. She was finishing high school. For years, I worked 3 jobs, built a tech startup in secret, and fought for recognition I never got. But when my name was announced as the youngest self-made billionaire, my parents took credit for it. This is not just a story of betrayal and favoritism. It's about reclaiming power, building your own legacy, and what happens when the girl they overlooked becomes the woman they can't ignore. If you've ever felt unseen, underestimated, or pushed aside by the very people who should have lifted you up, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay until the end, because the revenge isn't loud, it's quiet, powerful, and absolutely unforgettable. Sometimes the bus ride leads to a billion-dollar view. My name is Ella Young. I'm 22 years old, and last month I was told to take the bus to my own graduation from Stanford Business School while my parents were busy buying my younger sister a Bentley. Yeah, that happened. I remember the moment like a punch to the gut. I had called home one Sunday morning just to finalize the details. "Hey, Dad," I began, trying to keep the hope in my voice from sounding too obvious. "Graduation is on the 18th. I was wondering if you and Mom could make it." There was a long pause on the other end. Then his familiar, clipped tone crackled through the speaker. "We won't be able to drive you. Your sister's celebration is the same week. We're buying her a Bentley." Silence. Not, "Congratulations, sweetheart." Not, "We're so proud of you." Just that cold final sentence, like it was a grocery store reminder. "Take the bus. We're buying Madison a Bentley." I said nothing. I couldn't. My throat had closed like a fist. My little sister, Madison, had just graduated from high school. She was 18, blonde, gorgeous, and had just been accepted into UCLA with a 3.2 GPA and a legacy application. I, on the other hand, had clawed my way to the top of the most competitive business program in the country with a perfect 4 GPA and no financial help from my family, and now they couldn't drive 2 hours up from Austin to see me graduate because they were busy handing my sister the keys to a car worth more than my entire net worth. I wish I could say this was a shock, but it wasn't. Not really. This had been the pattern my entire life. Growing up in our upper-class neighborhood in Austin, Texas, I learned quickly that I was not the golden child. I was the workhorse, the mature one, the daughter who didn't need attention. My parents, Daniel and Grace Young, were textbook high achievers. My father, a senior partner at a major law firm, and my mother, a cardiovascular surgeon who thrived on control. They thrived on appearances too. Madison was their perfect ornament. She got ballet recitals, birthday ponies, modeling camps in New York. I got math tutors, science camps I had to fundraise for myself, and a lifetime subscription to constructive criticism. I still remember my 12th birthday like it was yesterday. I had asked for a telescope. I wanted to be an astronomer back then. I got a stack of academic books and a pat on the head. 2 months later, Madison turned 8. They threw her a Parisian garden tea party, complete with a live harpist and white doves. Doves. When I won a statewide debate championship in high school, my mom said, "That's nice, Ella, but don't let it go to your head." When Madison landed a background role in the school play, they framed the program like it was a Tony Award. I was expected to succeed. Madison was celebrated for simply trying. And so I stopped asking, stopped hoping. I worked. I studied. I got into Stanford Business School with a partial scholarship. I worked 3 jobs to make up the rest: barista in the morning, admin assistant in the afternoon, and tutoring in the evenings. I lived on canned beans, walked everywhere, and kept my head down. I had made peace, sort of, with the idea that my parents would never see me. But that phone call broke something in me, not because of what they said, but because of what they didn't. There was no hesitation, no guilt, no moment of, wait, maybe we should go support Ella, our daughter, who is graduating summa cum laude from freaking Stanford. Instead, I got a bus suggestion while they picked upholstery for Madison's Bentley. That night, I sat on the floor of my tiny studio apartment and stared at my worn-out sneakers by the door. I could still hear my father's voice, still feel that familiar hollowness clawing at my ribs, and for the first time in years, I didn't cry. I'd promised myself something different. I would take the damn bus, and when I walked across that stage, I would make sure the world saw me, even if my family never would. After that call, something inside me snapped, but not in the way you'd think. I didn't spiral, I didn't rage, I didn't even scream. I got up the next morning, packed my backpack, and went to work, like I always did. Because if there's one thing years of being overlooked teaches you, it's this: nobody's coming. Not to help, not to cheer, not to notice. So you keep moving. I worked the early shift at Brewhaven, a local coffee shop 2 blocks from Stanford's east entrance. My hands smelled like burnt espresso and almond syrup most mornings. The tips were bad, but the regulars knew me, and the manager let me take home leftovers: muffins, bagels, sometimes even whole sandwiches that hadn't sold. From there, I ran across campus to my second job, answering phones and filing paperwork for the business department. It was a boring desk gig, but it paid $11.00 an hour, and no one asked questions when I used the copy machine to print my homework. Nights were for tutoring: calculus, econ, intro business theory, rich kids who couldn't solve a budget spreadsheet to save their lives. I would sit in their air-conditioned dorms, watching them scroll TikTok while I explained basic principles they should have learned in high school. They'd Venmo me with lazy thumbs and complain about how broke they were, while I quietly skipped dinner that night to make rent. That was my reality. No safety net, no parental Venmo, no care packages from home with snacks and fuzzy socks, just me grinding. It got lonely sometimes, no, all the time, until I met Tasha. We collided, literally, outside the business library one afternoon when I dropped my books down a stairwell. She helped me gather them up and said, "Damn, girl, you carrying an entire semester?" I laughed. First time I'd laughed in days. We were inseparable after that. Tasha Bennett was the kind of person who refused to let silence win. She filled every room with warmth, sarcasm, and the energy of someone who had seen hell and refused to stay there. She grew up in Phoenix, raised by a single mom who worked night shifts as a nurse. Tasha knew what hunger felt like: real hunger, the kind that rattles your teeth when you try to sleep. We bonded over ramen packets, shared textbooks, and late-night confessionals in the communal kitchen of our dorm. Some nights we'd sit cross-legged on the floor, calculating how many shifts we needed to work just to afford next month's textbooks and groceries. "Your parents really don't help at all?" she asked once, eyes wide. I shrugged, trying to play it off. "They say it builds character." She scowled. "That's not character. That's emotional neglect wrapped in designer excuses." It was the first time someone named it so plainly, and it hurt, because it was true. Despite the struggle, I never stopped pushing. Every night after tutoring, I'd collapse into bed and then set my alarm for 5 a.m. to start again. I missed parties. I missed sleep. I missed being 22. But what I gained was vision. In Professor Evelyn Clark's financial technology class, something clicked. She was sharp, brilliant, intimidating in a no-nonsense kind of way. Most students were terrified of her. I respected the hell out of her. One week, she assigned a paper on emerging trends in digital payments. I didn't just write the paper. I obsessed over it. I read 12 white papers, cross-compared global adoption rates of crypto, and built a mini model for a safer peer-to-peer transaction platform. When I turned it in, I didn't expect anything, but after class, she stopped me. "Ella," she said, waving my paper, "this isn't undergraduate work. This is significant." I blinked. "Thank you, Professor. Have you considered building this? Not just theorizing it, actually building it?" That question lit a fire I didn't know I had. Or maybe it had always been there, buried under years of pretending not to want more. I started sketching ideas that night, diagrams, flow charts, sticky notes on my wall. I stopped scrolling, stopped doubting, and started building. Fenora was born in the basement of the Stanford Library. The name came from 2 words, finance and aura, Latin for boundary. Because that's what I wanted to break. I wanted to make crypto safe, accessible, not just for traders and tech bros, but for kids like me, like Tasha, who needed financial tools without the legacy gatekeeping. By spring, I had a prototype concept, a name, and enough research to fill a book. Professor Clark encouraged me to enter Stanford's annual startup challenge. The winner got $50,000, 0 cents in seed funding, and office space in the university's Innovation Center. "I'll lose," I told Tasha, laughing bitterly. She rolled her eyes. "You've been losing your whole life." On their scoreboard, "This one? This is yours to win." So I entered. And for the first time, I allowed myself to imagine something bigger, something mine. Winning the Stanford Startup Challenge felt surreal. I stood there on stage, half blinded by the lights, my prototype app projected behind me while the panel announced my name. I didn't hear the cheers, just one sentence echoing in my skull. "We're awarding first place and $50,000, 0 cents in seed funding to Ella Young, founder of Venora." Tasha screamed louder than anyone in the room. Professor Clark nodded once from her seat in the front row, her eyes sharp with pride. Me? I couldn't move. I just stood there, frozen, because for the first time in my life, someone had chosen me. Not out of obligation, not out of guilt, but because I earned it. That same week, I got a meeting with Michael Chang, a former Silicon Valley titan who'd made his first $100, 0 cents, during the early days of social media. Now he was looking to invest in emerging fintech. I pitched Fenora to him over a scratched-up table at a vegan cafe. No fancy decks, no suits, just my vision. He leaned back afterward, stirred his coffee, and said, "I'll cut to the chase. I want in. I'll invest $500, 0 cents K for 15%. I could have cried. Instead, I shook his hand, thanked him, and went straight home to update my business registration before I lost my nerve. Within 2 weeks, I was legally a CEO. We rented a tiny co-working office in the basement of Stanford's Innovation Center. 2 old desks, 1 dying printer, and a whiteboard stained with ghost markers from students past. I recruited 2 computer science students, Liam and Priya, to help me build. Tasha became my unofficial operations lead. We had no money for payroll, just stock options and coffee. We worked until sunrise. We coded, broke things, fixed them, broke them again. We ate instant noodles on the floor, held investor meetings in borrowed classrooms, and cheered when our first beta user successfully completed a transaction. Finora was real. One night, after an exhausting 14-hour push, I passed out on the couch in our office. When I woke up, the sun was coming in sideways through the basement windows, and my phone had 63 missed notifications. I blinked. Front and center, a message from Tasha. "Girl, turn on Bloomberg right now." I fumbled for the remote. The screen lit up with the face of a female anchor smiling in that smug way only morning news hosts can pull off. And in other news, meet the 22-year-old Stanford grad who's shaking up cryptocurrency with a new security platform designed for everyday users. Her name? Ella Young, founder of Finora, and she just might be the next fintech unicorn. I sat there, numb, my mouth hanging open. They said my name on national TV. They showed my face. My email blew up. Angel investors, venture capitalists, reporters, college kids asking for internships. And then came the message, a Facebook post from my mother. So proud of our daughter Ella Young, whose passion for finance and strong family values helped shape her into the brilliant woman she is today. Finora is a reflection of her upbringing, determination, and the support system behind her. Proud parents, legacy of excellence. I stared at the screen. I reread it 5 times. Support system? Legacy? These were the same people who told me to take the bus. The same people who couldn't bother to show up when I won debate championships, when I graduated valedictorian, when I begged for help affording textbooks. Now they wanted to claim me? They hadn't even called. They just posted a smiling family photo taken 2 years ago, me standing stiffly in the corner, barely in frame, under a caption pretending we were the damn Kennedys. Felt hot all over. Not rage, not pain, something worse. Erasure. They weren't just pretending to support me, they were trying to rewrite me. I didn't call them. I didn't respond. Instead, I threw my phone down, walked out of the office, and screamed into the night sky until my voice cracked. Tasha found me an hour later, sitting on the curb behind the building. "They really posted that, huh?" she asked, handing me a hot chocolate. I nodded. She sat beside me, quiet for a while. Then she said, "Let them post. Let them lie. Just keep going." "Why does it hurt so much?" I whispered. "Because somewhere deep down," she said softly, "you're still that little girl who just wanted them to clap." Her words shattered me and somehow set me free. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to hide anymore. I wasn't going to soften my story so it was easier for them to swallow. They'd built their reputation on silencing mine. But I had a microphone now, and I was done being quiet. Graduation morning felt like a quiet revolution. The sun was still climbing when I boarded the public bus, just like my father had suggested. My heels clicked against the floor as I walked down the aisle, Stanford cap in hand, diploma robe folded neatly over my lap. No driver, no luxury car, no Bentley, just me, a quiet fury, in a future I had carved from ash. The bus rolled through downtown Palo Alto as the city yawned awake. I stared out the window, remembering every night I had worked instead of slept, every shift, every tutoring session, every sorry I can't come, I'm saving for rent. I smiled bitterly. They told me to take the bus, so I did, but they had no idea who was getting off on the other side. Stanford's campus looked like something out of a dream. Red banners snapping in the breeze, flowers blooming along the walkways, white chairs lined in perfect rows across the lawn. Tasha had saved me a seat near the front. She handed me a small note. "Whatever happens today, you already won." I tucked it into my pocket. Then I saw them, my parents, Daniel and Grace Young, dressed like they were attending a country club gala. My father in a navy suit, my mother in soft ivory with pearls around her neck, and behind them, dragging her heels and scrolling through her phone, was Madison, looking like she'd rather be anywhere else. They hadn't seen me yet, and for one still moment, I just watched them. I waited for that surge of joy I used to imagine as a kid, the fantasy that they'd finally come through, that they'd wrap me in proud arms and whisper, "We see you now." But all I felt was distance. They looked small from here. The processional began. We marched in, the music grand and expectant, and then, one by one, we were called to the stage. I could feel it building, that unspoken tension, like the universe holding its breath. When Dean McKenna took the podium, he adjusted the mic and said, "It is my honor to recognize today's valedictorian, Ella Young, graduating summa cum laude in Business Strategy and Financial Systems, and founder of Finora, a fintech company recently valued at over $1 billion." The air shifted. A gasp rippled through the audience, followed by stunned applause. I stood. My robe swayed around my legs as I walked up the steps, heels striking wood with deliberate force. Cameras flashed, phones rose. I found their faces in the crowd. My mother, pale, hand frozen over her chest. My father, blinking so fast he looked like he was buffering. Madison, staring wide-eyed, phone forgotten in her lap. I took the mic. 4 years ago, I arrived on this campus with a dream and not much else. No safety net, no cheering section, just a hunger so deep it nearly swallowed me. Today, I graduate, not just with honors, but with a company I built from scratch. And I say this not to boast, but to tell anyone out there who's ever been told they were too quiet, too ambitious, too much to handle, you are not too much. You are just ahead of your time. Thunderous applause. People stood, some cried, but my eyes didn't scan for approval anymore. I wasn't looking for them. I was speaking past them. When the ceremony ended, a wave of classmates flooded me. Professors shook my hand, strangers wanted selfies. Tasha wrapped me in the tightest hug of my life. Then, of course, they came. My father got to me first, beaming. "Ella, why didn't you tell us about the company? This is monumental." My mother kissed my cheek like we were close. "You must let us celebrate." We booked dinner at Elan, just the 4 of us. The same people who once told me to take the bus now wanted front row seats to my success, but I had changed, and they hadn't. "I already had plans," I said flatly. "My team's throwing a celebration at the rooftop lounge. You know, the people who actually showed up." My father's smile slipped. "Ella, we came all this way." "You came because Bloomberg aired my face," I snapped. "Not because you suddenly cared." A silence fell, like a dropped glass. Then, unexpectedly, Madison stepped forward. "Can I go with you?" she asked quietly. To your party? I blinked. What? She shrugged, not looking at our parents. I'm tired of being the favorite. It's exhausting. I want to see the sister who built something real. And for the first time ever, she looked real to me, too. I nodded. My mother began to protest. My father looked like he was about to explode. But I was done performing for them. We're still your parents, my mother said sharply. We deserve to be part of this. I looked her straight in the eye. No, I said. You had your chance. Now you can watch from the sidelines. Then I turned and walked away, Madison beside me, toward the people who had lifted me up, not out of obligation, but out of belief. I never looked back, because that stage, it was never theirs to begin with. A year after graduation, I stood in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows of my Manhattan penthouse, barefoot, coffee in hand, watching the city bleed gold under the setting sun. I still had moments where I couldn't believe it. The skyline, the silence, the space that was mine. Behind me, framed on the wall, was the cover of Bloomberg Business, my face bold, my name loud. The headline reading, "The Billion-Dollar Daughter Who Did It Alone." Except I didn't do it alone. Tasha, my sister in all but blood, had become the heartbeat of Fenora, now COO and head of our charitable foundation. Professor Clark sat on our board of advisors, still sharp, still ruthless, but always in my corner. And Madison, my actual sister, was living in the guest suite, barefoot most days, eating oatmeal with a purpose. It's funny, I used to think we were on opposite sides of a war. Turns out, we were both just drafted into roles neither of us asked for. She came to my rooftop party that night after graduation and never left, not really. We talked for hours that evening, for the first time not as rivals or shadows of each other, but as girls who grew up trying to survive the same cold house in different corners. I didn't want the Bentley, she confessed one night, curled on the couch in my living room. I just wanted them to look at me the way they looked at you when you brought home perfect report cards. I blinked. They never looked at me like that, she smiled sadly. Exactly. That sentence hit harder than I expected. We weren't enemies. We were products of the same performance, cast in roles that made us easier to control. So when Madison told our parents she was deferring UCLA to volunteer with a marine conservation project in Hawaii, I supported her fully. When she refused the Bentley and any financial support, they lost their minds. When she asked if she could help me run the Fenora Foundation, I said yes, without hesitation. Now, she manages our sustainability partnerships and scholarship outreach. She's a damn natural at it. She's not perfect. Neither am I, but we're figuring it out. And that honestly means more than any billion-dollar valuation. As for my parents, well, they tried. They called, they sent flowers, they invited me to charity galas, and asked if I'd do press with them for a family legacy profile. I declined. They offered to sit on Fenora's board. We can offer experience, my father said. I countered. Where was that experience when I was rationing ramen and tutoring rich kids just to buy textbooks? But they didn't have an answer. Eventually, they stopped trying to own my story and just tried to stay near it. I allowed phone calls, short visits, controlled boundaries, because healing doesn't mean pretending the wounds were never there. It means choosing not to let them bleed forever. My therapist, Dr. Ayanna Holt, the best thing I ever spent money on, once told me something that changed everything. Some parents cannot love unconditionally, not because you are unlovable, but because they only know how to love what reflects them. That is their limitation, not your truth. Those words became armor. I wrote them on the first page of every scholarship letter we send out through the Fenora Foundation. That's where my real pride lives now. Each year we sponsor students like I once was. Smart, invisible, aching for a chance. We cover tuition, housing, laptops, meals, everything. Because no one should have to choose between a bus ticket and a diploma. Last week, Madison came into my office, beaming. Arizona girl, she said. The one working 3 jobs. She's in. I smiled. Make sure she knows. She doesn't need to take the bus to her graduation, Madison laughed. Should we send her a car? Better, I said. Let's send her options. She laughed louder this time, but I saw the emotion flicker behind her eyes. We'd come so far. From a backyard full of princess parties and invisible victories to this, our own damn legacy. As the city lights blinked on below, I sat back and looked around my life. Not the luxury, not the success, the people. Tasha, Professor Clark, Madison, my team, the scholars, the family I built. A family that never needed me to shrink. A family that clapped loudly, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. I used to crave applause from the people who left me in silence. Now I walk to my own beat, with hands clapping behind me, all around me, within me. Because I finally know the truth. I was never hard to love. I was just surrounded by people who couldn't do it properly. But I can. For others. For myself. For that girl who took the bus. And that is more than any headline could ever say.